If you feel that I have lived rent-free in your heads because there's some risk to trading at Rocket specifically, please let me know in a comment down below, leave a like or dislike, and don't forget to subscribe, because I'm probably going to make a couple more that might actually trigger you. Let's get my personal opinion out of the way because apparently people don't really stay to the end of the video where I actually talk about the technical indicators and where you can actually see, without actually having any sort of bias in through it, how wrong you could be without actually injecting any of your personal opinion or have any sort of personal subjectivity. The first one is mostly having to do with the technical indicators. A lot of people talk about how it's there was the 20 SMA or the 50 or the MACD histogram, how it's been ranging for a while and finally broke out. Here's the thing: all technical indicators are subjective, and therefore there is a point when they will work and a point where they will be flawed. The best case scenario you can hope for is about a 70% accuracy. In conjunction to that, you could actually go below 50%. And you know how that happens is that I can literally say one thing and tilt you with psychology because no one's actually immune to psychology. You'll essentially start forcing trades that aren't actually there, using your patterns, saying, there's actually a triangle here. No, it's actually a wedge, or no, it's an ascending triangle, or something like that, right? At that point, a coin flip could literally beat you. The second one is I kept reading about how people were talking about the Wall Street bets focus was actually on Rocket, and that's why it rocketed up before. Here's the thing. I don't think that was actually a central focus. It took them almost a full year to actually start focusing on GME and start to actually get in positions in on GME. Rocket has always been kind of there, but it's never been like a popular mainstay. Not even during that whole short squeeze with Melvin and during that rise of like anything in Melvin's portfolio got pushed up. Rocket wasn't one of them. So let's get the first most popular thing out of the way first, the short squeeze indicator or whatever people are talking about. So there is a short percentage float of 40% right now, right? That is about currently about 43 million shares. There's about 100 million in the share float. It sounds pretty good, but again, remember what I said about the previous video about how the reg show data is essentially 2 weeks delayed, and it was only about last week, no, sorry, about last week or something like that was when we actually got them to finally settle their trades and actually have to report it. And then the following week that's coming up, that's when we actually see where they were about 2 weeks ago. All right, so I'm on the SEC website, the official government entity that has to regulate this stuff, and I'm just going to move my face down here so you guys can see that I'm on the website for the SEC database called Edgar. Now, if you guys don't know what this is a 13 FHR, and the 13 FHRs are basically their holdings reports where they have to declare what they're holding at that time. They have to close, settle all their trades, and all that sort of stuff. And the way it works is that when a quarter ends, they have up to 45 days to file however much they have. Some people file at the last minute. Buffett, Burry, like all those big guys who like kind of care about their large positions that they're taking. We don't know until they're in position like up to 45 days afterwards. And to me, that's a huge delay, and we won't know if they're still in it till again another quarter plus 45 days after that. So there is a stark disadvantage to that, but we have the luxury of hindsight right now because obviously Melvin's kind of gone down. But let's just get into the filing really quickly. So I'm in the filing here, and as you can see, they have like a bunch of stuff that is long. They actually have options, but if you look over here, they also interestingly have something called a put right here. And I'm just going to scroll up, and okay. So they currently have about 600,000 shares worth of AMC puts. I mean, like typically they don't like these 13 FHRs for some reason they don't show what their short positions actually are, and that's a travesty. But hey, editor redemption here. So what I was talking about earlier was also that so they will show their options position of like a put or something like that, but they won't show shares short in their filings. That they're not required to, and like a lot of institutions don't actually put in what positions they are short currently in shares. People saying that this is the short squeeze for Rocket, I don't see it, but you can typically go down and see like, okay, see like in the R category, there's no Rocket, there's no RKT or any of those things, and I'm already at the bottom of the page here. I'm just gonna move my face cam up so you guys can see that. So yeah, there's none of that there. They do have some puts and calls and stuff like that, but essentially what I'm trying to say is that Melvin's not the perpetrator of this short squeeze or any of that thing right now. So the next question would be, well, then who is or who would be the one to get screwed over by you guys trying to buy Rocket up and try to like obviously shoot it to the moon? So with a quick Google search, you can kind of find it. I'm using fintel.io right now. I think this is a fantastic website. I just hate that I had to log in from time to time. But so if you look through, these are the institutions that are currently shorting it that have declared some form of shorts, right? So actually went to one of them and I looked at them. They are a long and short fund. So they do have like stuff that is long and short, obviously. And I'm just gonna go to the quick their monthly holdings list. And if I search up Rocket, there's nothing. There's no RKT. There's no mention of Rocket anywhere in this holding, and this thing has their current holdings from as of January 31st, 2021. So unless they took this recently, which I highly doubt, um, there is there might be nobody short on Rocket right now, and we won't know this until this upcoming week when they actually release that data that was actually 2 weeks old. So there's a lot of delay in between, and this might just be an outlier, and you're free to go through and look through any of these other companies, like right here. Like I'll just zoom in on it so you can see. Like, so you can go look at Blackstone, you can go look at THLSX. Like you can look at all these funds and check them out. Obviously do some of your own due diligence. I personally don't want to touch any of this stuff with Rocket or anything like that because there are other outlying reasons, fundamental reasons, which I'll get into now. In terms of the fundamental aspects, I like Rocket. I like what they're doing. I like their vision to become the Amazon of loans. I don't like the fact that they are taking essentially some of the direct risk um, with some of their loans as well, like because they got home, auto, and a whole slew of things. I like their platform. I like the idea of how they're trying to develop this. Um, but you know, I understand why they're taking a lot of these direct loans themselves because of the refinance boom. But there are fundamental reasons such as like yield curve control, which I'm still learning about, moral hazard, which I know if you guys have paid attention to what Powell said last week, they said that they're going to try to dial back a little bit. And the third one is just like essentially, if we were to have a crash situation on like if everybody just stopped paying their loans and stuff like that, because right now everybody is paying off their loans, but it's having to do with, a lot with their stimulus check and the rent moratoriums and stuff like that. So their money isn't exactly having to go to these people who are renting and paying off their loans. I'm not saying it's fully indicative of the entire audience there that aren't paying off their mortgage or aren't paying off their rent and stuff like that. I'm just saying that if they were given the option to, or let's say the option was even taken away, uh, Rocket might be in a very explosive situation to the downside, if you know what I mean. Especially since they are taking some of these loans direct and nobody's backstopping them. But those are my thoughts and some of the technical aspects I was looking at. Again, I'm still researching about yield curve control, and I kind of urge you guys to kind of do your own research on the situation. There is a lot of risk in the market, and there is a lot of ways to make money. In Rocket's situation, I like what they're doing. Like I said, I just don't like the current atmosphere that's being presented right now, and especially if we do actually have a huge market crash. I think that if any company is able to survive like a huge market crash, not like what we saw in 2020, 2019 or something like that, but I'm talking about like 2008, 2009, especially with like without the moral hazard being thrown in. Um, yeah, I think it would be solid, but I could probably make the case for like any company that has survived a major crash moving forward. It is times like this that I'm reminded of what a wise man once said on my channel, and that is just because you're a day trader doesn't mean you have to trade every single day. Bye.